Hi everyone, my name is Jerry Wise, and this video is on narcissistic families, boundaries that drive them crazy. And then in parentheses, but will save you. I want to talk about those today briefly. First of all, I want to say that I've been working with individuals who grew up in narcissistic families, dysfunctional families for 45 years now, helping them to get their family of origin out of them and find their true selves. So first of all, one boundary would be saying no without explanation. You do not have to justify your no or your yes. You are an adult. The only place that you may need to justify yourself in an adult world is with your boss, possibly, or in court in a judge. Otherwise, you don't have to give your justification. Maybe within a marriage, it would be good to have more information. But in general, we can say no or yes without explanation. And for those who are dysfunctionally attached to you, that will drive them crazy. Prioritizing self-care, number 2. That if you prioritize self-care, that drives the narcissistic family or the narcissistic parent crazy. Because they want you focusing on them, not on you. And that, again, you're putting your needs above their demands. And I like that language. My needs are above your demands. And I need to take care of me because I have to take care of me first so that I can interact and care about and love and give to others. So prioritizing self-care is a boundary that will drive them crazy. Thirdly, limiting information sharing. That also drives them crazy because their currency and the fuel and the supply they operate on is based on information, and they want that information from you. And so they want you to have no privacy. You know, I'm not big for having secrets, but I'm very big for having a privacy. And there's a difference between those two. Secrets is about shame. Privacy is about boundaries. And I think that's important to remember. Number 4, refusing to engage in arguments. If you have been in a tug of war with narcissistic family members, then one thing we want to learn to do is drop our end of the rope. And that's refusing to engage in arguments. Because arguments often do not serve and don't provide a resolution to problems. It only keeps the enmeshment going. And that will drive them crazy because they want to keep engaging you in arguments so that they don't feel alone or so that they feel in somewhat more control. Number 5, setting communication limits. In other words, designating specific times for communication and sticking to them, especially during conflicts. In other words, if someone is upset with you and cannot regulate their own emotions, then I don't want to talk to you right now. We can talk later because I don't have to talk to you right now if you're that upset and are not controlling yourself. Also, I may not want to talk to you daily. And so many adult children of narcissists or adult children of dysfunctional families I've heard and talked to, they must talk to their parent or parents 1 time a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, daily. And they don't really want to, but they can't say no. Or they haven't chosen to say no yet because they're not prepared or are they ready to deal with the consequences. And that's something we can get prepared to do and to work on so we can weather the consequences. Down below, there's a program I would recommend you sign up for, Road to Self. And I give you 45 years of my experience of getting your family out of you and finding a true self. And also preparing yourself to examine, explore, and to discover inner boundaries so that you can execute external boundaries. such as, I don't want to talk to you 7 days a week. I think twice a week would be fine right now. And again, that will drive them crazy because, again, it's about their needs, not about your needs. So you have to take control of your needs because they're not going to take control of that. They're going to ask you for their needs. Number 6, enforcing consequences. Implementing and sticking to consequences for disrespectful or boundary crossing behavior. I've had individuals who have told their narcissistic parent, if you are going to criticize my spouse, then I don't want to talk about that. And I don't want to talk to you if you're going to do that. Well, whenever that happens, you will then need to exit yourself. And you will then need to set what boundaries they're going to be if they do talk about your spouse, because you don't want to do that and say, well, I think our conversation is over and we can talk again in 5 days because I said I don't want to be talking about my spouse with you. Number 7, declining financial support and control. Refusing financial help that comes with strings attached or allows for control over your decisions. You may want to begin to decline that. I realize that's a benefit. Who doesn't want financial support? And isn't it normal for families to support each other financially? Isn't that a common thing? But if it comes with strings attached and they get to help you with your decision making or demand your decision making, then we need to refuse that financial help because it's only going to enmesh us further with the narcissistic parent or the narcissistic family. Number 8, seeking outside support. God forbid that you would go to a therapist and get some help, or you talk to a pastor or a friend or support groups outside of the family dynamics. And I've had people who have been very harshly treated because they went to a support group for codependency or adult children of alcoholics or adult children of narcissists. And the family just thought that was horrible and so unnecessary. It drives them crazy that they have to share influence with you with other people. They don't want to share influence with you. They want to be your only influence. Number 9, detaching from their emotional turmoil. What do I mean by detaching from their emotional turmoil? We stop being involved in the dramas and the crises. And one of the best things I've found is the old referral method. Well, do you know that so-and-so is doing so-and-so? Do you know your sister who's married to so-and-so and they've been arguing and it's so awful and we're going to have a family meeting to talk. Hey, Dad, I think the best is for them to get some help and refer them to a therapist or a counselor or a coach. And of course, they're going to go crazy because they want to be all enmeshed in the drama and the crises. But I don't want to, so I use the referral method. Well, I think they need to go and talk to someone, but I'm not going to get all involved in all the dynamics and drama of that. Again, it will drive them crazy, but it will be a boundary that will save you. And then lastly, independence in decision making. Making decisions based on your own preference and well-being. And again, what I try to think of doing is how I would make a decision is if everyone would be just fine with my decision, there would be no guilt tripping, there would be no displeasure in anyone, what would I choose? Okay, well, that's what I would do. So that's what I truly want to do. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't going to be guilt tripping and all kinds of upsetness because of your decision making, but at least you'll know what decision you want to make. And then you can work on making that decision. Again, I have a program down below, Road to Self, that will help you with making those decisions and also sticking to them. First of all, in terms of self-differentiation tips, I would say focus on inner boundaries first. The reason I think doing that inner detachment first, it then helps you with external boundaries. Once they don't affect you as much emotionally, then, or upset you as much, then you can be stronger with your external boundaries. And that what that means is learning to care less about their opinions, their judgments, their criticism, choosing emotional detachment, and devalue for yourself their reactivity. In other words, their reactivity is of no value to me, nor does it have to affect me. That's their upsetness. C, don't change them, change you. And I believe that changing you can also be changing your boundaries. Don't try to work on changing them. You're going to waste your time and energy doing that. I would recommend Charles Whitfield's book, Boundaries and Relationships. I think it's a great book, one of the better books on boundaries. Hey, I hope you'll subscribe, comment, and like this video. I want to thank you for joining me today. Have a great day and be wise.